my favorite things to do as a child would probably have to be getting some of my friends together from the neighborhood, and we would go down to the ponds and chase the geese around. What led me to Christ was when I went to a church camp in Southern Illinois called Camp Hope. My favorite part of TDF and like some of our experiences would probably have to be going on the retreats because of all the fun activities and hanging out with all of my friends, you know. The most spiritually impacting thing would probably have to be going to Big Stuff every year and being in community with other believers, and the worship is amazing there. Find that person that can keep you accountable, and if you have questions, go to them, and y'all can help each other out in your walk with the Lord.
Legos was my favorite thing to play with, and Star Wars Legos specifically, because I would always get like the little minifigures and always like pit them against each other. You know, there was that one time in my life, you know, that one moment when I was about 7 years old that I accepted Christ into my heart. But throughout my, you know, growing years and, you know, as I've matured into an adult, it's been a gradual process of defining what I believe and why I believe it. I really like the emphasis that Aaron has put on apologetics and how we've really pushed that in the past couple years, because, you know, coming from a naturally skeptical person, you know, there's a lot of questions about our faith. You know, I think that's in this church has helped me grow as a Christian. Know what you believe. Know what you believe. Know your convictions, and really stick to those.
My parents and my brother started coming to church, so I started coming, and then I just kind of talked with my parents about it, and then I accepted Christ and I actually got baptized. My favorite experience would have to be going to Chicago, because it just opened my eyes to see how others lived with and without Christ, just not in Nashville. I want to encourage you to put God before any other relationship, because it allows you to have a stronger relationship with Him, but also to take care of yourself, because if you don't, it's going to not mess you up, but intentionally mess you up, because you won't have that relationship.
I got to bond with my brothers a lot playing superheroes, and one of my favorite characters to dress up as was being Superman. Just getting to run around, and I'd always be like, I'm Superman, and it was just a lot of fun, and now my dad makes fun of me for it. Growing up in a Christian home was kind of one of the things that helped lead me towards it, but then it didn't really hit until probably my first time to Big Stuff church camp. The speakers just spoke to me. I don't remember exactly what they said, but it really hit, and that night I rededicated my life to Christ, and ever since then I've done my best to live life to the fullest for Christ. One of the things that I really enjoyed getting to do was the Grounded Conference that we got to set up through the youth group. It was very interesting to realize there are so many other beliefs in the world, and so ever since then I've tried to get to know like all the other like religions, and just kind of figuring them out so I can actually talk to people about what they believe and hopefully lead them towards Christ.
Well, some of my favorite things to do as a child was, I guess, to go outside, play with my friends, like my neighbors, or play soccer, or mostly or stay inside sometimes, just play around. Big Stuff is like the best thing that's ever happened to me, because that's where I was saved. It gets me away from Tennessee and so that, and gets me to Florida, which I love to do, just relax. And it pulls me closer into more of my faith. If you're ever feeling doubt in something, just go outside. It's a beautiful day. Just go outside, look at the sky, close your eyes, and just listen to everything around you, and know that that's what God made. All this beautiful noises, that's what God made, and that's all around you. Make you feel comfortable around it.
I was raised in church, but one of my friends that I've known since like the 5th grade, we went to this church camp, Deer Run, together, and that was when I gave my life to Christ. But she was a big influence on that in that camp, and the whole atmosphere was. I've really enjoyed the retreats that we have, like the fall retreat and the winter retreat, doing all the activities like skiing and human foosball. That was always really fun, and I'm actually pretty good at that, so. Something that really impacted me was the trip to Chicago, because that was when I got really involved in the church and like became friends with people, and just interacting with the kids who lived there was great. Find people who help build your faith, like having friends that are a good influence and will support you, and also to like make an effort, because it's not easy to maintain a relationship like with Christ. So
I love to sing, and that singing has always been a passion, as well as watching VeggieTales and Blue's Clues. What led me to Christ was my parents. They were very nurturing. The church that I went to as well helped grow that interest, that spike, and that fire for God. My favorite experience has been working with the children's ministry. I love spending time with the little first graders. Even though as corny as it sounds, they do teach you as much as you teach them. They are with their childlike faith and mindset. Because music is such of a big part of my life, it's one of my biggest passions. My first time at Big Stuff, the songs that they played there and the people that they had sing them was just awe-inspiring. The world is tough. Life is gonna give you lemons, unless you can get some sugar and some water. It's gonna be some pretty sour lemonade. You just have to make the best of it.
My favorite things to do when I was a child is I like to play seek and hide with my friends, and just sometimes just stay at home and play with toys. I got saved when I was in 7th grade in my country. I went to summer retreat, and I felt that God called me and sought the Lord. My favorite experience with the mentoring group, I like small group to communicate, and I can know what people's life, what God's doing in their life, so I can understand and know more people. Just trust the Lord. Proverbs says, in his heart a man plans his courses, but the Lord determines his steps. So if you guys commit to the Lord, he will do for you guys like this.